Hey, Kelly.
Yeah. Hey, I want to look up I was trying to find the Texas uh, state sex offender.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, I have a really crappy ass computer, so because I wanted to send you this. Can you look it up?
I can. I definitely can. I'll do that as soon as I'm off the phone with you. All right, I got two things to say though. The first one is the newbies, the people who are new to homelessness. They're fucking scared shitless. They have no fucking clue what's going on, and try not to hate Darren for allowing them to speak too. Just it doesn't matter if you've been homeless for 2 weeks or 2 years or 20 years. It's the same bullshit. It's just these younger folks or these folks that are new to it. They don't know. They that guy who was posting that stuff on Boulder Rights Watch about his experience is still valid. You know, yeah, he's bitching because he's been homeless for 4 months and he still doesn't have a
What was
place.
it?
But
Teammates.
it's the other shit that he was going through that is the important part of that story. The other thing that I want to say, because like I helped out all the newbies. I walked them to the homeless shelter. I walked them to the warming center. You remember Ogre?
Attention.
We did walk people to attention homes, yes. A lot of the kids were afraid of attention homes because they just wanted to keep them there all day. But all right, that's not the point though. Ogre and Ogre and Sage I was going to visit on my trip to Virginia too. Me, Ogre, and Sage used to walk those people to the homeless shelters and to the warming centers and places like that. That's what we did in specific. As far as detention homes goes, that's mostly for the kids, and I tried to avoid the kids there like the fucking plague. I mean, in Chapel, Nebraska, where I'm
I
from,
like so I can do that.
when I was in Chapel, Nebraska, everybody, that was friends, you could be friends with their kids too. Miss Jerry, I was friends with her, and I helped raise her kids. So it's different there than it is in Boulder. In Boulder, somebody sees you with a kid talking to you, and they start calling you a child
Fine, you're
molester.
good. Yeah.
And that's why me and Rabbit and fucking a few others are always mean to the kids. That's trouble. That's trouble that we don't fucking want. Those
I
little
don't know.
girls come down for the drugs, and the little boys that have crushes on them come down for the girls, and then we have to deal with people who are all sorts of fucked up and vindictive, screwed up on drugs, screwed up on hormones, screwed up on jealousy. Little girls and little boys are no fucking good. They don't belong there in the homeless community.
They're not allowed to be hurt.
They're not allowed to be hurt. That's why Emery and Arturo needed to go. You don't do that shit to little kids. If those girls are out there stuck in the cold, you don't get into the sleeping bag with them. You stand watch over them, and that's what Emery and Arturo should have done. But those kids do not need to be there. Those kids do not need to be around people like, for example, when you were saying John Fox when he's drinking. If John Fox is drinking, do those kids need to be around him? Do those kids need to be hanging around with the meth dealers and the fucking heroin dealers? All that shit came in with the juggalos in 2003.
Can I tell you something? My own experience.
You may.
48 years old. I look for protectors. Thank God I have a home now.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank God. But I always looked for a protector. And sometimes it was until 3 o'clock in the morning that someone was continuing to touch me. And I was continuing to say no. To the point where I was like, damn, I guess I'm not going to sleep tonight.
Right?
See ya.
No, you don't get to be the outside spoon. You stabbed me in the back with your dick, you fucking asshole. I get it. I totally get it. No, I definitely looked out for those kids, but that's the point, is that we needed to look out for them.
Wait, I'm not even a kid. And I had to deal with this shit.
Right? That's the thing, is that people don't remember who I was. They don't remember the things that I did. They don't remember the ass whoopings that I took from people who were doing fucked up shit because they shouldn't have been. Arturo and fucking Emery should not have been there doing what they were doing. Cash.
And what happened to your brother, too? Who was good. He was a regulator.
He was. That's right. And the fucking cops wouldn't do their jobs. But you know what? When Stefan did that shit to that girl and her mom came down and she fucking told me what was going on with that girl and what Stefan had done, I went down to go tell Rabbit what was going on. By the time I got to go tell Rabbit, her mother had already spoken to him and he had already regulated Stefan the fuck out of town. The police,
You want to hear?
there's two different officers that would come down and tell us who the child molesters were. And we got rid of them because the police could not do so. Their hands were tied, as they said.
You want to hear something? I'm going to tell you a story. Do you know who Mark Hogan is?
I don't. I'm going to look him up, though.
Yeah, he's a sex offender. Okay, here's my story. You want to hear this?
I do.
This shit happens. So he took me up because he was taking care of the plants up on the hill, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And he was able to sleep in this garage. This is a tough one to tell you. So I had shorts on because it was winter or summer, right?
Yes, ma'am.
I woke up, my shorts were at my ankles, and he was jacking off over me. I got up and I beat the shit out of him. Don't worry, he fucking fought back. I ended up with a scar on my hand because of hitting a fucking water thing. But I was able to get out the door, and I went, and it was right up there on the hill. Okay, and there's a fucking police. And I went, and I said, like, I've got a little bit of a problem. I'm, like, bleeding, and I was, sexually assaulted.
You were assaulted.
They took me to Vista. They did a rape kit. He did not enter my body. He was just simply jacking off over me. And this is where I really have a problem with Ramos. Because after I went to Vista, and they gave me, like, sweats and everything, so they took my clothes so they could, check all those out. Ramos came up, and I was like, dude, here's what happened. Nobody got arrested.
Jesus fuck. He doesn't have to enter you for it to be assault. It's not rape if he doesn't enter you, but it's still sexual assault.
He was jacking off over me.
That is sexual assault. He pulled your pants down and was jacking off over you. That is sexual assault. Officer Ramos should have done something.
They didn't do anything.
Jesus fuck.
That's okay, I beat the shit out of them, though. Later.
Fuck.
And he was a sex offender on top of it. Mark Hogan. Check it out, he's a sex offender on top of it. I'm not kidding. This shit happens.
You're homeless, though. They didn't give a fuck. You're not a human being. You're not worth the time.
Ramos.
Do what?
It was Ramos.
Yeah, and he's in charge of the homeless task force. That's...
So why
That's why we need regulators.
I've been trying. I want to get on a board because they don't have anyone who's on the list.
I know we don't have representatives anywhere.
You know how many women that I know who are out there just with their boyfriend, so they get beat up constantly.
I do. I have a lot of those stories. I just can't get the police to look at it. I tried for years. I mean, I grew up in the system being raped, okay? I was raped the first time when I was 6 years old. The first person to rape me was a boy who was in a mental institution because he was raped by his dad. The second person to rape me was a staff member.
I was raped at 3. I was raped again at 12. And that was a gang rape. 3 boys. That was awesome. Except I didn't think that there was anything wrong because I didn't know. I was raped again at 21. God knows how many times I've been raped on the streets. You just gotta get over it.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to fucking do something about it. I did something about it while I was out there. I did something about it. Rabbit did something about it. Mobley did something about it.
Where are Rabbit and Mobley too? And you? There's nobody out here doing anything.
I know. I was doing something until I hurt my back, and now I can't be there. I can't be there because I was falsely accused by people who weren't there.
Are you still dealing with that? Falsely accused? I mean, because...
I am. The Boulder police assaulted me, and then they took me to a nuthatch to prevent me from making a report. Literally, for the whole week after Natalie fucking disappeared, the Boulder police did everything in their fucking power to prevent me from being able to stop anywhere and get the evidence that the Broomfield police had asked me to get for them. I could not stop and use the internet anywhere without the public assaulting me, a tweaker assaulting me, somebody I know fucking assaulting me, or the Boulder police. The Boulder police harassed me for fucking until January 6th. On January 6th, I finally fucking had a nervous fucking breakdown, and I was pretty sure that it was either her dad who killed her because I exposed him with an email that she sent me, or Tim Beeson, the ex-boy... What? She was killed by a guy named Joseph Michael Lopez. He's a Domino's pizza delivery boy. He's gonna be serving 48 years in prison. Do what?
That's how I'd like to go down at Domino's Pizza Delivery Boy.
Shot her in the head with her boyfriend's 9mm. But that's the thing, is that those officers called ahead. They must have, and told those officers to fucking harass me, because they were able to tell my mother within 2 days of Natalie disappearing that I didn't do it. But there were 7 police press conferences between when Natalie disappeared and when they caught Joseph Lopez on February 9th. And in none of those did they tell the public that I wasn't the one who did it. Not at a single one. They let me hang because of the bullshit that they went through. They wanted to help the Bollingers, not realizing that the Bollingers were the ones who put Natalie through that fucking hell to begin with. Natalie cut herself for years. She was marked up one arm and down the other when I met her when she was 13.
I'm a cutter.
That's because you were a victim of sexual assault. I get it. I'm betting your mom didn't listen, did she?
Happy Mom's Day.
Right? No, see, that's the thing. I'm well educated in this shit. I grew up in this shit. I grew up in institutions. When little girls tell on their daddy, they give them a choice between getting locked up or staying at home with daddy. And when they say, I would rather get locked up, that's what they fucking do. Daddy gets away with it every time. And then they have to learn to normalize. You have to normalize with your predator so that you can make sure there's no fights in the household. You have to make your predator happy. I get it. I understand it. I know, Kelly. I know.
Hey, I grew up with a Porsche. Fabulous. I learned how to drive stick shift on a Porsche. That's going to be the title of my book.
Right? That's the thing, Kelly, is I'm trying to educate people. But because of what was done to me and because of the slander against my name, I still have people threatening my life. There's still people who think that I killed Natalie. What the police did was completely wrong. What they continue to do, turning a blind eye to the homeless people and the shit that happens to them, is completely wrong.
Just like what happened with John, what happened with Mark, what's his fucking name with the dog, Zeke? Because I only remember the dog's name.
The little white dog? It was a white pit bull?
Like this. Do you get this? He hit me like this. God, how do I not die?
That's the thing, Kelly, is that they're victimizing the victims because it's money. It's more money for the county. It's more prestige for them. The more arrests they have, the better they look. Homeless people are easy to fucking victimize. The police know this. People keep trying to make it a race issue. And don't get me wrong, racism is an issue there. You know, we used to fucking joke, me and Mark Swanigan, about Black in Boulder as an actual charge. And although it's not literally a charge...
Hold on, I got this one on you. I used to tell Canada. You remember Canada?
I do remember Canada. Used to ride around on a bike.
And dude, you are like one of 3 black people in Boulder. Can I tell you something about my dad? Which is why I'm a little bit covered. My dad went to see you. He was conscientious objector to the Vietnam War, which gave him the ability to be part of the Black Panthers. So I am actually watched over by the Black Panthers. It's happened in Denver. A lot of shit doesn't happen.
Well, I was pretty well looked after too until those rumors destroyed my life. When people call you things like that, I went to Natalie. That's the whole thing. That's the reason that I was being called a stalker afterwards. Is because I went to Natalie and Maddie and Alicia and said, hey, you guys need to set this shit straight. I didn't fucking molest anybody. I didn't fucking rape anybody. Call off the fucking dogs. And you know what? Even after the first few assaults, I was still being nice about it. Maddie was fucking trying to clean up her life and go to rehab and shit like that. And I'm trying to explain to them what people have to go through when they're fucking accused of that shit. If I did that shit, you take me to fucking court, bitch. I told them...
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Can I tell you something about you? When I first met you, you said some off-color comments. I'll be honest with you. But you never hit on me. Jesus Christ, everyone does. I'm about the only homeless chick who has teeth.
That's because I'm scared of sex. I mean, most of the stories that I knew growing up about sex were abuse. I don't want to have anything to do with sex.
Neither do I, to be honest with you. It's been a year. It's been really awesome because 6 months of it, my boyfriend was in jail. doesn't have a boyfriend anyway. I just was able to tell him about that. I don't even care. I really don't.
Kelly, my phone's going to die here shortly. I just got your battery is low warning. It's at 15%, but that last 15% disappears real quick. If we don't finish this conversation, I still want you to make a video about what happened to CJ. I want you to include her real name so that the investigators that I'm going to try to send it to, it's what?
Janice Adams.
Janice Adams.
And her son is Tyler Adams, and I just sent him a message today.
Yes, ma'am. Nick Romero even came after me.
She was fucking abused.
I only knew her as CJ. I just knew that she was...
Priscilla too, recently. Frank's going downhill.
Onyx died. Tiny died. Janine died. Anna died.
Christina, Nikon and Taven's mother, they call me Auntie Kelly. There's too many.
I know. I've lost over 300 friends in the last 10 years. Over 300 people that I know are dead because of bad laws and bad fucking cops. I know, Kelly.
And Nicole, Donna's going. Oh, and let's go to the very first one that I learned when I was homeless. What was his name? I love you.
Donnie Horn.
That's it. Donnie Horn.
Donnie Horn was killed by Chris.
Yes.
Chris gave him a hot shot while he was passed out. Yeah, Chris is still on the list. He sent me a friend request a few years ago. What?
He's never coming back to Boulder.
He better not.
Except he could now, because there's nobody. Our OG is gone.
Jesus fuck.
He's gone.
I know. Donnie Horn had a twin brother too.
Danny.
Yup.
I never met Danny. I met Donnie. This is when I was first homeless. And he was killer. I watched him for 1 month.
I told my stories on Facebook, and almost all of the stories that I told about the brutality out there, I could get Facebook banned for. I got Facebook banned for posting up screenshots of people threatening my life. I took screenshots of the people who threatened my life, and I posted those pictures up on Facebook, and I got Facebook banned for them. Before Natalie died, I had never been on a Facebook ban.
Hey, guess what? I have an author in my pocket who's from Boulder. Not just Elizabeth Robinson, but she's fucking cool. But I have Tiffany DiBartella. What if we don't just throw some of our ideas her way?
I think that'd be great. The problem is, people don't understand autism. They don't understand when I'm having a sensory overload, I need a safe place. Without streaming, almost everywhere I've been has been constant streaming. If they don't understand that it doesn't have to be abuse towards me, it's abuse at all. And for me, I've not being able to go to the police. I mean, before Natalie died, I was bitching so much about how the police wouldn't do their fucking job, about how they wouldn't take a report from a homeless person. They stole so much evidence from me in the last year. They did everything they could to prevent me from making a report against the Boulder Police, and the DAs took part, and the judges took part, and my own public pretenders took fucking part. They pulled every goddamn shitty fucking shady ass trick that they could, and up to and including pretending like they got into car accidents. When I went to tell about the assault against me in the Longmont Hospital, because they kept telling me it's out of jurisdiction, it's out of jurisdiction, it's out of jurisdiction. You have to go to Boulder County to make that report. So I'd go to Boulder County, and they assaulted the fuck out of me. And then they're telling me, all right, well, you have to go to an outside agency. You need to go somewhere else to do that. So I'd go to an outside agency, and they'd tell me, you have to go talk to the agency that they work for. And then I'd go to the agency that they'd work for, and they'd say, well, we're not going to let you make a report. You have to tell me what it is, and I'll decide if you're allowed to make a report. So,
Could you do me?
what do you need?
Email me what you want to write. You said you're autistic, so it will have to be
I've been
edited.
writing. I have been writing it as much as I can in between constant panic attacks. I have to step away from it frequently because I relive that shit every day. It's all of it though, all of it at once. I relive the assaults by the police, the assaults by the public for, oh my God, you know?
I understand.
So I'm doing the
I
best I can.
severe, but it could help to write it down, and I'm trying to do it myself.
I have been writing it down. I have panic attacks from all of that. I mean, I went to places that nobody should have to go, places that I was told were safe because these internet wingnuts, they, holy fuck. I went to a woman's place named Sally Treon, and they were watching a show about clowns killing people the whole time I was there. Their daughter was fucking dragged through the house and kicked in the face. It was a bunch of grown-ass adults fucking screaming the whole time I was there. I'm not kidding you. I let Miss Jerry know what was going on, and fucking those people up in Montana that I was letting know what was going on, they've never been through shit like this. Lana and Amanda have never been actually homeless. They were trying to pretend like them living in an RV on somebody else's property in small town fucking Nebraska where nobody's gonna do shit to them. They're not getting harassed or fucking berated or charged $400 and fucking charged with trespassing for using a blanket. They're in an RV. It's a fucking comfy RV. It's a fucking luxury home to people like us. You know?
No shit.
So for them, it's all fucking fake stories. It's all me making shit up. It's all fucking shit like that. They pulled such fucking shady shit while I was up there. Like, oh my fucking God. And they kept snapping at me. And that's the thing, is that I'm trying my best while I'm up there not to have a meltdown. And every morning Lana's waking up fucking pissed off about something. And I was crying the second day that I was there. I was crying about fucking Natalie dying because, you know, that is at least in part my fault. You know, I exposed her predator and she couldn't handle that.
Predators.
I exposed her dad with an email that she sent me in 2016. That's why she got the protection order. And I wasn't able to go to that because Ken and Leah had stolen all of my money. And then the police locked me up so that her predators, who were predatory towards me, could pretend like they were the ones who were at risk. Literally, I have screenshot after screenshot of people threatening my life over the slander and the assault by the Boulder Police Department because they were trying to paint me as the bad guy. They were trying to frame me for a crime that I didn't fucking commit. And they did a great goddamn job.
Sean, are you safe now?
I'm not safe. I keep asking people to kill me because I'm not safe. I don't get to see any of my loved ones ever. I don't get to see Rabbit. I don't get to see Peaches. I don't get to see any of those people.
Come home.
I can't. There's warrants out for my arrest for fighting the system, for fighting against these officers, for exposing what they're doing. Kelly, if I go home without this stuff prepared, they're going to lock me up for a really long time, Kelly. There's already a lot of evidence that it's been so long that my public pretenders wouldn't do their jobs. It's been so long that they can't requisition that evidence. Some of it we had 30 days to get. Some of it we had 90 days to get. Kelly, if I go home, the police are going to assault the fuck out of me. I'm going to go back to the same jails that I was in before, and they're going to hurt me like they did before. Kelly, if I come home, I won't be able to see you guys. The Bollinger family fucked this shit up, and the border police fucked it up. The border police, in specific, need to be charged with crimes for what they did to Natalie Bollinger's case. For the fucking emotional turmoil that they put me through, and the emotional turmoil that they put her fucking mom through. And don't get me wrong, her mom's no saint. She's one of Rabbit's conquests. She was a fucking junkie just like the rest of them.
I was one of them.
I know.
Anyway, how about Colorado Springs?
I can't go to Colorado. My warrants, I checked them with Officer Ramos. I have that on video. I posted that on YouTube. I have warrants, 2 warrants in Colorado that are statewide. I cannot go to Colorado. I can't go to Nebraska either, because I was trying to turn in those officers for not doing their job. I've talked to Darren. He tried to hook me up with that guy, David Lane. David Lane and his law office has ignored me.
I have David Harris in my pocket.
Well, send me his number too. I need you to text me that, and also message me that and your email, and I will send you everything that I can. Natalie got a hold of me almost every day to say that she wanted to talk to me while I was in Virginia. Her sister and I were good friends as well. She talked to me every day. Maddie Boa and Natalie Bollinger saved me from the border police and their brutality when I hurt my back and couldn't walk a block. Natalie would not have done something like that intentionally. She just didn't believe me when I said those things were happening. And I didn't know how to take screenshots until after she was dead. I know I need to come back. I mean, who the fuck else has got the balls to fight for our rights like I do? Who the fuck else is going to stand in between Cash and the people he's trying to stab? Who the fuck else is going to do that?
Cash is stabbing people too? Yeah, my ex-boyfriend is.
He was going to stab a few people because Desiree beat his ass because he wouldn't stop being a fucking dickhead when she woke up. So he got all fucking messed out of his gourd and was going to stab people on the bike trail over by Boulder Creek.
How are you with Des?
I'm good friends with her. I rescued her from a meth house here in Cheyenne, Wyoming last year. The cops, I've tried to get a hold of them. They won't listen to me.
How about Lana?
I love Lana. I've covered her up at night because she passes out drunk. What?
How about Murphy?
Murphy? Shit, people keep telling me that Murphy looks like my dad. I've never had a problem with Murphy. He's always a pleasant drunk to me.
A fucking lawyer.
Do what?
He's got a fucking lawyer. That's probably who I'm going to get up first.
That's the thing. I tried to get a lawyer. I mean, I have crippling panic attacks. I have to stop doing my work often. The things that I used to do to help, the things that I used to do that helped me, like stopping for a few minutes and playing video games until I'm calmed down, I was fucking victimized for that. I was treated like shit for doing that. By somebody who watches Game of Thrones, which is a show about people who fuck their own fucking sisters, for Christ's sake. They do that to wind down, and that's okay, but I'm a bad person for video games. You know?
Okay, I have one little little suggestion about, because I have anxiety hardcore.
Yes, ma'am.
Chamomile tea. I'm not kidding. Let me locate Murphy. Talk to his lawyer. See what we can do.
Yes, ma'am. I've been
I know your phone.
Sean David Schwartz. But I've been trying to find a safe environment where I'm not overwhelmed, but everywhere I go, somebody is abusing somebody. Tabby finally got rid of Josh, thank goodness, because he's, oh my god, dude, like, he fucking slammed her daughter down on the stairs and was fucking screaming in her face. He was calling her 3-year-old daughter a cunt. Now, don't get me wrong, I've used that word a lot, especially recently. I hate that word. I think it's offensive as fuck. But if somebody's being assaulted for shit that they didn't do and having their life threatened for shit that they didn't do, and you could put a stop to it, fuck yes, I'm going to use that word. That word is offensive, and I use it offensively.
Only to men. Honestly.
I've called men cunts as well. I called Tim Beeson a cunt because his bitch ass wouldn't keep his word to come fucking kill me.
Do you remember Josh Cable and Nakia?
I remember Josh Cable. Josh Cable went to Fort Logan.
Oh, wait, no, I'm thinking of Josh Orwig.
I don't know Josh Orwig. I might, but...
Ears.
I do know Ears. Yes, he used to date Wings as well. He also he dated...
He's treating Nakia like shit, and Nakia's one of my best friends.
He's a what?
He's treating my friend Nakia.
Who else did he date? That lady, not Jersey.
The bangs, right here, long black hair.
The cops won't take fucking reports from us. I mean, how do we fix that?
Hey, do you know who's living with him? God, I don't want to put this on blast. But John. He did the funny money for a minute. He sells shit.
I'm
Can
not
I just
sure.
say shit?
You can. You're allowed to curse, Kelly.
Well, no, because I don't want to say what it is, but you know what I'm talking about?
Methamphetamines.
Something kind of like that. And a lot of it. Frankie's involved. Everyone. Dude, I know so much.
I know.
I don't want to take down COVID. I really need our OG back.
Desiree's too fucked up mentally from the shit that she's been through. She can't regulate shit right now. She needs to be kept safe.
No, she needs to be safe. Seriously. Stabbed twice? For God's sakes. No. She's not part of it. Lana is wrapped up in shit. Same shit I'm talking about. Fucking everyone's on the shit.
I know. Boulder police went through and arrested everybody who was just fucking with weed. They went through, like, 4 years ago. They stepped through a minefield of fucking meth dealers to grab the people who were only messing with marijuana. Literally, they could not do that on accident. There is no way in hell. They intentionally ignored all of the meth heads for a fucking reason.
I know all 5 of the dealers out here. All 5. Should I call them in?
Kelly, they're not going to listen to you and you fucking know it. They're going to say you're an alcoholic and you're mentally ill.
Kelly.
They're going to call you an alcoholic and say you're mentally ill and discredit you immediately and refuse to take a report like they always do. But yes, by all means, give it a try, but take someone with you when you do it. Take Darren O'Connor with you. Take fucking...
And take my case manager. I know all of them.
Is your case manager somebody who's been homeless and knows what's up?
Well, because I'm watching people like Nadine. Do you remember Nadine? I'm watching Amanda, who's with Boston Donnie.
I remember Boston. I do.
I fucking loved him. I mean, I did. Because he fucking watched after me all the time. That was old school. But now everyone's doing this shit and they're hurting people and they're stealing. And
I know. I know. I've been speaking out about this for years. It's difficult. We need to work together to get people to listen. And they made sure that my voice was silenced. They made sure that I was painted as the villain so that my words could no longer be heard. So that people didn't want to hear anything that I had to say, Kelly. I have been through an entire year of the police covering it up, the judges covering it up, and from what I am able to gather, that whole child fucking trafficking bullshit is still fucking going on.
now that I know nothing about.
Well, I've been in a little
I
bit
just
more
don't
in the
want
loop.
to tell me anything like that. Oh my god, that would scare the fuck out of me.
They're stealing
Children.
people's kids. You should ask Mariah about it. Ask Nancy Stopka, all right? They can fill you in on what's going on with that. They're stealing homeless people's kids. The ones they're specifically looking for is blonde-haired, blue-eyed girls under the age of 6. They can fetch the county up to $1 million, $1.5 million. They're charging homeless people with bullshit crimes, specifically homeless people who have blonde-haired, blue-eyed girls under the age of 6. They did this to Ogre. They did this to Nancy. They tried doing this to Chelsea, but she fled state.
How about what's her fucking name? Crazy ass bitch. I mean, I'm sorry, most of the girls that get their kids do. What is her name? Because she lost her kid. What about Shorty?
They did the same thing to Dez, too. Dez,
How about of all Atlanta's 7 kids?
see, that's the thing, is that they keep us from having a voice. They peg all homeless people as bad, terrible people who are all fucking child molesters and rapists, and the cops must always be right and we're always wrong. Our words don't matter. That's why I keep speaking out. Right now, literally what I have done is show what it is that these predators do to get away. Going from county to county to county, jurisdiction to jurisdiction to jurisdiction. And I'm doing it for a completely different reason. I'm doing it because I need to be kept safe from the police. Because I spoke out for so many years. When Natalie died, they had to do what they did in order to discredit my voice. And yes, I am fucking crazy now because of it.
Aren't we all crazy anyway? That's not even.
I've been documenting this shit. I have been recording people. I have been all sorts of shit. I've recorded mental health workers that are supposed to help, and the fact that they can't. So many of these mental health workers have agreed with me on tape, but they didn't know that they were being fucking taped. When they caught me taping them, they asked me to turn it off. Luckily, I have 2 phones, so I showed them the one phone that was off and didn't show them the other one. I didn't know how to do any of this shit before Natalie died. Otherwise, I'd have sent her screenshots of what Tim Beeson was doing. I wasn't able to take screenshots of the people who were assaulting me before that. How do you take a screenshot of somebody assaulting you? That's the point, is that I couldn't prove any of that stuff. I just had to take it. Every time that I went to see my friends, I tried to go see Pierre to explain to him what the fuck was going on. He wanted to meet me at fucking 9 a.m. at Starbucks on University and Broadway, and that Starbucks is gone now. And I waited there all fucking day for him. He didn't get a hold of me until 3 days later. Meanwhile, two of fucking Maddie's meth head buddies are waiting outside of the fucking Starbucks for me. That whole fucking time. And he's not understanding why it is that I'm pissed the fuck off to this day. He could have done something. Joanna Smith could have done something. But you know what? They didn't want to. Maddie Boa didn't want to fess up to the shit that she fucking did. She was too embarrassed. Me, I'm a lucky son of a bitch because I never get embarrassed. If you are a fucking predator, I will fucking speak out about it. If you hurt my friends, I will speak out about it. If my friends are treating me like shit and you are predatory towards them, I am still gonna fucking speak out. Fuck. God damn it.